92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
When you go out on a first date, you learn a lot about the other person, their likes and dislikes, what TV shows they might like, and people are very passionate about their TV. Like, I know for me, if you disrespect New Girl, I will gut you like a fish.
Because you're just so adorable.
I will come across the table. I've actually choked someone out at a restaurant before because they disrespected New Girl. And it wasn't even the person I was out with. It was somebody 3 tables down. I heard them say they didn't like it. Anyway, that's the reason that Sherman, who's on the phone today to do a second date update, thinks that his date ditched him in the middle of their date.
What?
Because he disrespected her TV show.
Oh.
Isn't that right, Sherman?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Did she, throw her drink in your face as she stormed out of the restaurant?
No, none of that. I went to the bathroom, and then I came back, and she was gone, and she left a pile of money at my feet to pay for the meal.
So you got ditched in the middle of your date. Your email said the only thing you could think of was an argument about TV. What happened before she ditched you?
I mean, we're talking about TV shows and shows we liked and stuff, and she brought up Real Housewives.
Okay.
And I kind of chuckled at that, and I kind of made fun of her for a little bit, but I was just joking.
How bad did you make fun of her?
Well, I mean, when she said I watched Real Housewives, I was like, you really watch that trash? And that's kind of, I don't think she liked it, but I was joking.
Did she laugh about that, or did she seem legitimately pissed off at you?
I feel like she was more upset than she was happy about it.
And how long after you made that comment did she ditch you in the middle of your date?
I'd say we talked for another 5-10 minutes, and then I had to go make a restroom break.
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit. Up into the TV discussion, you're saying everything was fine on your date?
Everything seemed cool, yeah. We met at the restaurant, got our appetizers. We had some small conversations, just talking about likes and dislikes and stuff. I thought it was going fine. You'd
never met this girl before? This is like a blind date or someone you met online?
Yeah, it was a blind date situation. Her friend is my neighbor, and I was just talking to my neighbor one day about how, I'm single and, ready to mingle and stuff. And then he was like, you should meet my friend. And then she seemed down to meet up, so we met up, and I thought it was going great.
Until you dropped the hammer on her about Real Housewives. So when you got back to the table and you saw a pile of cash sitting there and your date gone, what'd you do?
I just kind of sat there and just waited. I thought maybe she went to the valet or maybe she wanted to go on a smoke break or something. And probably 15 minutes in, I realized I got ditched.
So did you try to call her or text her or anything?
Yeah, I was sending her a text, just, making sure things are cool. And I was like, hey, did I offend you with the housewives thing? It was just a joke. Sent her things like that, but she just hasn't responded back.
So you've heard nothing from her other than coming back to the table, finding cash, and no date.
Yeah, cash on the seat, and she was gone.
Do you actually want to talk to a woman who would be so offended by anyone talking trash about housewives again, though?
Well, I don't think she realized I was joking about the housewives thing. I don't mind housewives. It's just, it's cool to hate. It's a fun show to hate on.
It is. It's very fun to hate on that.
Easy.
But do you want to call somebody who ditched you in the middle of a date because of it?
Yeah.
I mean, she was really cool. She was beautiful. She was smart. We laughed and stuff. I wouldn't mind a second date if it's at all possible.
Huh.
And I think the housewives thing was the cause, but honestly, I'm not sure. It could have been anything. So I just kind of want to get some closure on this and figure out what exactly, what did I do?
Yeah, it would be confusing if somebody left me in the middle of it. I mean, it's never happened. But if it did happen, it would bother you a lot because you're like, what did I do that was so wrong? She couldn't even handle hanging out with me for another hour until we finished dinner.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know exactly what went wrong. And, if I can get a second date, great. But if not, I at least want to get some closure on this whole thing.
That's understandable.
It's just hard for me to believe that anyone who's a fan of Housewives doesn't understand also how ridiculous it is. I think you did something else.
I don't think I did anything else, but it's the only thing I can think of right now, like I said.
All right, well, let's find out then. We're going to play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, hold on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
If you're just joining us for today's second date update, Sherman is on the phone with us. He recently went out with a girl named Sarah. While they were at dinner, he got up to use the bathroom, came back, she was gone, there was cash left behind on the table, and that's the last he's heard of her. Tried to text her, call her, and heard nothing back. I do have a question for Sherman before we get her on the phone and find out what went wrong. Sherman, let me ask you this. When you came back to the table and your date was gone, were there any ashes or burn marks anywhere around the table?
No, that's what I noticed.
Yeah, because I've heard of this happening before. Sometimes people will spontaneously combust. And I'm thinking that might have happened.
Oh my God. And the money just flew out of her pocket from the explosion.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm sure she survived.
You think she survived?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's weird.
Because you haven't heard anything from her. It's all speculation at this point. She could have combusted and turned into the money.
Oh,
I've heard of that happening too.
I've never.
There's all kinds of things, Sherman.
That'd be a good superpower.
Yeah.
No kidding.
The only thing Sherman can think of that went wrong is they got into a little disagreement about the TV show Real Housewives. She said she watches it. He made a joke like, I can't believe you watch that trash. And she seemed legitimately offended. It was shortly after that she left, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to call her right now, get her on the phone, and find out what went wrong. You ready?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Hello?
Hi, is Sarah there?
Speaking.
Hey, Sarah, how are you? This is Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning.
Sorry, who?
Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning, the radio show. Nice to
Why
meet you.
are you guys calling me?
Well, because somebody emailed us about you.
Somebody emailed you about me.
Yep.
Who?
His name is Sherman.
Sherman?
Yep, and you recently went out on a date with him and then
Oh, my God.
you ditched him in the middle of your date.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about that weirdo.
What?
Wow. Can you just talk to us for a second, please? Because he's wondering why you would ditch him in the middle of the date. He thought it was because he insulted Real Housewives.
What?
Yeah, he said that you guys were talking at the dinner table, and then you made a comment of how you watched that show, and he said that show's garbage, and then it was after that you left. So that's the only thing he could think of.
Oh, my God. That's the only thing you could think of. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
up?
I left because of a TV show. That is so stupid.
I take it that's not the answer.
See, so now would you like to defend yourself and tell us why you left?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a very good reason.
Okay, what happened?
So we're on the date, whatever. We're talking. It's fine. I'm trying to get over the fact that his name's Sherman. It's fine. Whatever.
I didn't even think about that being a problem.
He gets up to go to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting there, and this girl leans over next to us, and she's like, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I know this is going to sound really weird, but I know that guy, and you can't date him. And I'm like, oh, okay. And
What?
she's like, his name's Sherman. My friend dated him a few years ago, and within a couple of weeks, he slept with her mother.
What?
Whoa.
That is a huge accusation that you just got from a stranger.
I know. I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? And I was totally grossed out. I wanted to throw up, and I was like, if it was enough for this woman to interrupt our date and like pull me aside, then, you know, she's looking out for me.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, it kind of fit. Like, when I was looking at this guy, I'm like, yeah, he probably is a motherfucker.
Literally.
Sarah, let me ask you this. Though. Do you think that girl could have been like an ex-girlfriend who's just kind of hating on him?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought that at first, but it just her tone and everything, like, it just, you know, why would she say that? It was all too weird, and I had to just get out of there.
Have you left in the middle of a date before?
No, I've never had this happen to me before.
I mean, it's not like the guy was dangerous or anything. He just has a crazy ex story.
It made me nauseous. Like,
Yeah.
I just pictured him, like, knocking boots with my mom, and I wanted to barf.
That's what I was going to say. At that point, Sarah, you got to think about your mom. It's not even about you. You got to get out of there. Otherwise,
Even your grandma.
yeah, who knows what this guy's going to be up to.
And he was weird. He was weird when I talked about how I like Housewives, and now I understand why.
All right. Hey, Sarah,
Oh my God.
Yes.
thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I do also have to tell you that Sherman is actually listening on the other line, though.
What the
Yep. Sherm, you there?
It's not as black and white as that, you know? It's not as simple as just, you know, sleeping with somebody and their mom. It's not
It's not as black and white as that.
Oh, my God. You slept with their mom? Like, that really happened?
You know, there are a lot of things happening, like, that go into this story that make this story complete.
So it's
And,
true.
Like, you only have certain bits and pieces of it.
Okay, so it's true. Can we hear the rest of it then?
No, I mean, that's all one side of the story. It's not as black and white as that. And that's the thing with that. Like,
But-
I can't just
so we
go
need to hear
around
that-
and be known as just one thing.
Yeah, but we should hear the other side of the story then, don't you think? Don't you want to defend yourself?
I don't think you're going to hear it right now because I feel like you're just going to turn it against me right now.
No,
You're gonna make fun of me on the radio.
I think what you did is a great
Oh
thing.
my gosh. No, you do not, Sherman. That is so gross.
I don't know what the big deal is. Like, people get into relationships all the time. They get all messy. I've been cheated on before. You know, I'm sure Sarah's been cheated on before. It happens. It's part of life. Everyone just needs to get on with their lives like I'm trying to do.
I've been cheated on before, but nobody had sex with my mom.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
that's the point.
I'm sure someone's had sex with your mom.
Well, I know someone has. My dad has. Maybe somebody else. I've never asked her about her history that much, but I'm saying nobody's ever cheated on me with one of my parents. How did it happen, Sherman?
I don't want to talk about this. This is all in the past. Why are we bringing up past bullshit, all right? I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to get
I
on
get
to
it.
a second date with a new relationship with new people.
I get it,
Why do
Sherman.
keep
I get it.
bringing back old stuff all the time.
If you're not going to comment on it, Sherman, then Sarah, would you like to comment? Aren't you curious?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's a nasty perv, and it all lines up. He was wearing that icky cardigan on our date, and it's just,
That's the one thing I know.
You know.
Dudes that wear cardigans, they always hump moms.
Hey, that is a red flag right there.
yeah, he looks like Mr. Rogers. He's a pervert.
I'm not a pervert. There was no children involved in this.
Except for the daughter of the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, adults. This isn't like children. This isn't like underage people.
Sherman.
Everything was legal. Everything was consensual. Now you're just trying to make me look bad. This is what I said. This isn't what I wanted to be happening right now.
All right, well, let me get this wrapped up for you then, Sherman. Sarah, would you like to go out on a second date with Sherman? We'll pay for it.
Are you f***ing kidding me? I'm not sleeping with some dude that slept with his girlfriend's mom.
Sherman, thanks for your time, man. I promise we're not laughing at you. We just want to know how it happened. That's all.
Jubal, ask me again. Your mom.
And if you tell me how you did that girl's mom, I will let you my mom. That's how bad I want to know.
What is wrong with you?
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.